And we're back. Let's go first to Danny Dumaresque, who's on line 6. How you doing, sir?
Oh, not too bad, Pete. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for your patience. Jim Learning's got patience, too. He's right behind you, so let's get going.
Yeah, well, I wasn't intending to call today, but, of course, all over the national and provincial media today is the story about Newfoundland preparing to sell power to Ontario. And as one who has been on the issue of electricity and power systems there for a long time, I certainly was surprised and obviously disappointed that our government were in the last legs, I believe, of power, and certainly hope so, that they would be embarking on this particular project because while we all support development, we all support trying to make something work if indeed we're going to be the beneficiary. There's no question that there is no business case for this project at this point in time.
Well, they're talking about it, Danny, right? They're saying they're getting a group together to start looking at it and discussing it. And even the minister says that, we're talking a long way off here, that it's not going to be announced tomorrow. They're just discussing the potential for and the ways that it might at some point be done.
Well, I agree with that, and I agree with that. That's the general thrust of it. But I'm concerned about how desperate this government is, because we have this situation now where they're going to embark upon a private-public partnership on the nursing homes, which is going to commit the incoming government to tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, which I certainly don't believe they have a mandate to do. And I'm concerned that the Premier has mused only last month about bringing the legislature back before the election, and I'm wondering if indeed he might be contemplating doing something like a term sheet that might commit us to a lot more than we want, because...
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but I doubt it very much. But, I mean, they clearly don't feel the way they felt when Roger Grimes was the Premier, and they told him in no uncertain terms that he had no business doing anything of any significance without a mandate from the people as Premier.
No, that's right, and there is a lot of smoke and mirrors there, and the timing is incredible because here we have the situation now where Hydro-Quebec has 5,000 megawatts of power, surplus to its needs. It's selling that power for 4 cents to the Americans, but they can't find any buyers. And here Ontario is next door to Quebec, so if they were wanting power, why wouldn't they just waltz over to their neighbor and across the fence and say, bring it along?
Well, because obviously if they're part owners in this, then it might be a much better solution for them, I suppose. There might be a deal in place where for a period of time, a considerable period of time, they would get a better deal than even Quebec is prepared to offer.
Well, see, what everybody forgets is this is all about cost. And the Ontario Energy Minister this morning is saying, yes, we'll buy power if indeed it's going to lower our rates. And I can't help but remember that as a echo of the Premier of Nova Scotia about a year ago saying the same thing. And obviously there was a massive giveaway of power to Nova Scotia. We're going to cost us 25 to 30 cents per kilowatt hour, and we're giving it to Nova Scotia for less than 5. So we can't be doing this. I mean, there are provinces that have serious pollution problems, serious emission problems, serious targets that they have to meet, and they're all rushing to Newfoundland and Labrador now for us to solve these environmental and clean air problems, but it's on the backs of our ratepayers, and we just cannot be embarking on this kind of...
No one's saying that Gull Island would be done on the same or similar basis as Muskrat Falls. In fact, I would suggest that that's probably just not possible, right?
Well, they haven't shown any inclination to do anything different. As a matter of fact, the statement today is quite remiss in the fact that it doesn't even acknowledge the province of Quebec. And here it is only 48 hours ago that the new Premier of Quebec, as far as I'm concerned, came down and extended the invitation to sit down and talk. And here they're talking, issues a joint press release today saying we're going to do this with Ontario, and not even acknowledge that Quebec, the territory of Quebec exists And I don't know who they think they're fooling. You cannot wield 2,000 or 3,000 megawatts of power to Ontario. It doesn't go up and over and come down like a satellite. It has to go across the land. And for Mr. Daly, which to me are reporting, saying that it could go through the Anglo-Saxon route through Nova Scotia, I mean, that is being disingenuous at best. Right now, that would cost an extra $5 billion in transmission costs. So, these are things that are coming up. These are things that are being tossed out. But I do believe that they are based in political desperation and not in a solid business case. And we just have to hold our feet to the fire and say, listen, get the election over and let the new administration go out and discuss these kinds of deals because there's no way that we can go back and make the same mistakes of the past. We did it on Upper Churchill. We did it on Muskrat. For God's sake, let's learn some messages here.
Is there no scenario that you can imagine even that with all of the pressure to leave fossil fuels behind, probably sooner than the Prime Minister has suggested, that Gull Island could actually assist Muskrat Falls in becoming a logical scenario, or at least a better gamble? It seems to me that if you have another project with more power and lots of people looking for it, there might possibly be a way to do it where not only is it achievable, in terms of physically, but it could help the bottom line when all is said and done, especially on a long time frame.
Yes, I agree with you, and I do see a way to do this. I really believe that it can be done, but the province of Quebec, the Premier of Quebec, the government of Quebec must be at the table because one of the things that can move this forward is the renegotiation of the Upper Churchill or having revenue capital contributed to the new project by the province of Quebec that would be in lieu of a change in the Upper Churchill contract. And Quebec has shown a propensity to go that route because that was something that was a part of the Grimes deal 10 years ago, where they knew they were being generous in their approach to the capitalization and the interest that they were going to charge. And I believe that there is a deal to be made there, but you must get over this cultural. I don't know what you would call it, but it's certainly a fear where there's none existing anymore. Where there's a rational government in Quebec. There's laws that say that where capacity exists, you must allow adjoining provinces to go through your territory. And as the new Premier of Quebec just said, it is a matter of capacity, and where capacity exists, there's no problem. I mean, right now we are selling power from the Upper Churchill, our surplus power, through Quebec. But we're paying for it. We're paying $19 million a year, but we're selling it into the U.S. So it can happen. But when there's not sufficient capacity, which there wouldn't be for the Gull Island and any surplus muskrat power, then you have to build it. And who builds it? Well, then you have to find a partner. And I would submit that Hydro-Quebec and the government of Quebec would be people that are willing to sit down, and they must be, because they're the only people in the world right now for us that I believe have the capacity, and certainly they would have the interest to try to right some of the wrongs of the past. And
at the same time, you can't blame the citizens of this province for being a little leery, having been burnt so bad in the past, to go anywhere back close to that fire, right, Danny?
Well, and yes, I do. I said, like, turn the page, get over it. I mean, the people that did the Upper Churchill are all dead. Come on. I mean, there's a new law. There's a new thought process. There are certainly any number of people in this province right now that have proven to be able negotiators, and everybody knows that. So
it's just so many billions of dollars under the bridge.
Well, no, I mean they're gone. Certainly, they're all gone. But I believe that there's a case to be made, and I believe that there's a willingness, and we must try. We must try to go to that table and say, listen, what is it that you can contribute in lieu of the fact that you don't want to and can't open the Upper Churchill contract? Can you look at being probably a more meaningful partner in the development of the Lower Churchill, being Gullen and surplus muskrat? I believe that there's an appetite for it, but you can get nowhere by ignoring that elephant in the room. Quebec right now has got to be dealt with if we're going to talk meaningfully about Gull Island development. And today, to go out there and issue a statement saying that we're going to do it with Ontario, not even acknowledge the presence of Quebec, is another political mistake, and one that we just can't continue to make forever.
Well, there's nothing like another suitor to make the original one a little bit more attentive, perhaps, and focused. But anyway, listen, Danny, we're going to have to talk about it another time. I appreciate your call today. Stay in touch.
Thanks for your time, as usual, Pete.